psycho-cybernetics was developed by a man named Maxwell Maltz, and this was back in the 1960s. This book, Psycho-Cybernetics, was published actually in 1960. And I'll go into a little bit more of his story later on. Now, in order to succeed, it's simply about using these psycho-cybernetic techniques. And the cool thing about psycho-cybernetics, it's not this, new agey, metaphysical stuff that maybe works for some people, but you're like, I don't think that's going to work for me. This stuff is scientifically proven that when these techniques are applied, the results are in accordance with the technique. So it's pretty awesome stuff. Now, my own experience with this, as you can see, I'm a short, young woman, and when I was younger, I tried out for the soccer team. This was, I don't know, maybe in middle school. And I really, really, really wanted to be on the soccer team because that was like kind of the cool thing to do. The cool kids were on the soccer team. So I really wanted to be a part of it. I tried out, I went to the practice, I got all the gear, the pads, everything. And the coach cut me after the second day, and I was very disappointed, to say the least. And I said, well, what could I have done? Because I was into this. I was passionate. I was like, I need to be on this team. And the coach just said, well, you're just too small. I don't think you have the aggression to play, with some of these bigger kids. So in my mind, that was kind of like saying, oh, okay, I'm too small. Maybe I'm not big enough. And what that kind of turned into for me was not being enough in a lot of different areas of my life. So it was like, okay, well, I can do this, but I won't ever try for the big deal because I'm just not enough to make it. And that was huge for many, many years in my life. This started too when I decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. My very first business that I started was an editing business. I'd always been kind of interested in writing, a little bit, had some talent at it, and was anally retentive about editing, punctuation, spelling, grammar, I just noticed those things. So I'm like, cool, this is great, I'll start an editing business. Well, very, very soon, the same kind of things were coming up because I would see other people doing kind of similar things to what I was doing. I'd look at their website and see, oh, well, theirs is really awesome, so mine's kind of not good enough, maybe not big enough. My company is just tiny, who's going to hire me, all this stuff, and it was all this nonsense, really. I was feeding into these lies that I was telling myself, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not big enough, all of this stuff. So I had to get over that. What I learned, this was more recent, is that we can actually break through those lies that we're telling ourselves, these what I would call limiting beliefs, because we get stuck in this mess of just thinking, okay, well, whatever, I tried that, it didn't work, so I'm not going to try it again. What I did recently, I was at a seminar, and one of the speakers from The Secret, a teacher on The Secret was giving a seminar, and I had attended, and he said, okay, well, at the end of the seminar, we're going to break through a board with our hands. And I'm thinking, what? I've never done any martial arts or anything like this, so yeah, okay. But of course, he said, it's not about strength, it's not about size, it's not about muscle mass, it's all about your mind. Okay, fine. So this has kind of become my industry. I guess I'll have to test it out. Well, what happened was I'm getting psyched up because we had written a limiting belief on one side. Mine, of course, was I am not enough. On the other side, then, we were to write a new belief that we wanted to kind of, literally break through to. My belief that I wrote on the other side was that I'm a huge success. So what we did, there was 500 people in this room. It was totally massive and chaotic, and there's music jamming, everything's crazy. And then we're supposed to go break these boards, and I'm like, whoa, okay, well, okay, I'm going to do it. One thing that the leader said that really stuck out was that female martial artists, when they go to make a break or a certain hit, they will call upon the whole universal energy up through their body and then push that out. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm obviously not a martial artist, but maybe I can use the same technique. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about in my head. I'm going to use this universal energy to pull up through myself, break this board. Well, I get up, I'm standing on a chair, of course, to watch everybody over there breaking their boards, because I was in the middle of the line. So I'm thinking, this is awesome, I'll get all psyched up, everybody's going to break the board, I'll go break mine, woohoo, we're done. Well, as it turned out, a lot of people were not able to break their boards. So I'm like, oh, you know, I'm done. This is it, I'm not going to be able to do it. So as I'm getting closer and closer, we get to a stage that's called like the on deck section. And I get up to the on deck, I have my board with my beliefs written on both sides. And thankfully, this guy, this volunteer at this seminar came over, and he puts his hand on my shoulder, he goes, this is your time, so own it. And I was like, okay, all right, this is my time, I'm going to own it. So I, again, recalled that whole female martial arts thing, power of the universe, you know, that sounds like He-Man or something. I mean, this crazy, but it works. So I took my board, I gave it to the guy that was, the board holder, got set, thought about it, and bam, I was able to break through on the very first try, which was shocking to me. I had no idea that I was going to do that. I wasn't even expecting it. But it was surpassing the belief that I had and saying, okay, I'm going to choose a new belief. It was working from the inside and saying, I'm going to push this stuff out.